News 15 at 6 begins with breaking news.
Breaking news as we come on the air tonight. Gunfire rings out during the night in a Lafayette neighborhood after what appears to be a drug deal gone bad involving several teenagers. Well, that shootout ending with 2 teens hospitalized in critical condition. Good evening, I'm Jeff Horchak. Well, good evening, I'm Jeff Horchak. Breaking news to lead off News 15 Weekend Edition. An apparent assassination attempt on former President Trump. It happened at a Saturday evening rally in Pennsylvania. Now, Trump's ear grazed by a bullet. A rally attendee killed and 2 others critically wounded. Secret Service agents killing the suspected gunman. News 15's Connor Hansen with the breaking details.
I know recently you tweeted about Governor Edwards here saying that he's crushing the economy as well as Second Amendment rights. How has he done that?
Well, he really is. I mean, it hasn't done well. When you're number 50 out of 50.
They don't at this point. They're still investigating, Jim, but they say the shootout happened here on Sunset Drive just before 10 a.m. this morning. A vehicle rolled up on several other people in the street and gunfire was exchanged. And like you said, when the detectives rolled up on the scene after the shooting, they did find those shell casings scattered all across the street. Sergeant Robin Green with Lafayette Police breaks down exactly how this shootout went down. Well, frustration, that's the word that can be used best for residents here in Lake Charles and all across southwest Louisiana who have not been able to get back in their homes or in their business. All they want is to be able to go back to work or in their home, but they may be dealing with issues with insurance companies or just don't have the money.
Whereas some crawfish farmers say this year's supply is the lowest they've ever seen. Jeff.
Well, that's right. There's no doubt about it. It's been a nightmare scenario for local crawfish farmers. As you said, that the supply is super low. And right now, they're doing their best just to catch as many as they can, but that has been a very difficult task.
During the peak of the season, some farmers catch 5 pounds to the trap. They have crawfish this high.
So how does this make you feel, Andre, right now? What are you feeling?
I guess depressed.
It's hard finding Louisiana's most prized crustaceans, meaning you, the consumer, will see a real pinch to your pocketbook this year.
A couple years ago, we were able to get crawfish early, and we were able to pay the farmers $5 and sell ball crawfish for $10 a pound. That's the highest I've ever seen it. Now we're paying $10 a pound, and some people are selling ball crawfish for $18 a pound.
Andre Leger is the owner of Chez Francois Seafood and Specialty Meats in Lafayette. He's been in the seafood business for 40 years and has never seen the crawfish supply this low.
The last drought we had like anything like this was in 1999, and it was about a 6-month drought. Now we're into 10, 11-month drought.
After talking to crawfish farmers, they tell me that the shortage of crawfish right now is because of the drought that we're in, and those extreme temperatures this summer forced crawfish to go down deeper in their burrows searching for water. The end result, many of them died.
Not only the crawfish supply is down, but the expenses of everything else is going up. So it takes roughly $700 to $800 for me to run in a day to go catch about $700 of crawfish. So basically the price going up the way it is kind of sets the farmer in more of a break-even situation. Even though everybody thinks it is inflated, it's really what it takes to keep people afloat.
Sean Swear is the owner of the Cajun Table restaurant in Lafayette. And he harvests his own crawfish in ponds outside of Kaplan and then boils and seasons them to serve to the public. Currently, he is only catching 3 to 4 sacks when he checks his cages compared to in the past when he would bring home 30 to 40. But he's optimistic this will change.
I think by March we should start seeing numbers that we should be seeing today. You know, I think it's probably 2 months behind. I'm seeing some small babies. You know, the water's getting a little murkier. There's some movement happening, but I think that original first crop, I think that was...
Now, on top of the drought, we have these freezing temperatures that have hit Acadiana. Ponds like the ones you see behind me that have crawfish in them, they're going to be freezing over in the next few days, which is going to make it even more difficult for crawfish farmers to access their traps. Reporting live in Scott, I'm Jeff Horchak, News 15.
Live in Gaydon at the Duck Festival, I'm Jeff Horchak.
Well, Marcel, hundreds all across South Louisiana are involved in this lawsuit. I recently sat down with the Dixon family out of Youngsville, who has kind of become the face of this lawsuit, to find out more about their nightmare homeowner experience. West and Alicia Dixon bought this brand new home in Youngsville in 2014. Several years later, the problems started to arise.
We started smelling the mold, I guess, about 3 or 4 years after. I kept getting sick with respiratory issues. But we had the house tested, no one found anything. And then friends of ours had mold in their house and asked if someone could come and inspect. And when they came, they told us that we had the 3rd worst house in the neighborhood full of mold.
According to the Dixons, the faulty HVAC design and building envelope does not work here in South Louisiana with the high humidity, which has caused the mold and water damage.
When they built the house, they didn't create enough attic space. So our house is essentially acting like a vacuum and pulling the heat in, which is creating the moisture.
News 15 Investigates acquired this audio from a conversation back in 2021 between then D.R. Horton City Manager of Louisiana's West Division, Leslie Gullickson, and a disgruntled D.R. Horton homeowner here in Acadiana. She admits they knew certain building envelopes were not suited for South Louisiana's climate.
The code that was built was designed for drier climates. And we have issues along the Gulf Coast where we're very humid with this, the houses being built too tight, but we're building them to the way the federal government says to build them. The man who actually wrote the code did a seminar and said, with the AC people, he said, I never intended that to be the rules in the South.
The lead attorney in this class action lawsuit, Lance Unglesby, is representing families from Lake Charles to Slidell who bought these homes. He says new results just back from mold tests show these homes have elevated levels of mold that are harmful. And he says D.R. Horton has to be held accountable.
These guys are fraudsters. I mean, they need to be kicked out of Louisiana. Bell Mechanical is a Louisiana company. They need to be kicked out of Louisiana. These people need to be shut down. They can't do quality work. And not only can they not do quality work, they keep lying to all these homeowners, these hard-working, middle-class homeowners.
With the issues and the mold and stuff that we're having in here, the longer we have to stay, the longer this is drawn out, what kind of, health effects are we going to have down the road that we're just unaware of?
Living in a home they say has suffered over $100,000 worth of damage, the Dixons feel trapped.
And we just can't afford to go anywhere else and pay 2 house notes, so you're kind of stuck in hell.
Now, I reached out to D.R. Horton's corporate office for a statement on this pending lawsuit. They have not responded. News 15 Investigates also learned that D.R. Horton is still building homes with the building envelopes here in South Louisiana that are having these issues. And right now, the Dixon versus D.R. Horton and Bell Mechanical class action lawsuit, it's headed back to state court at the end of this month. And this is a positive for the Dixons and other South Louisiana D.R. Horton homeowners in this lawsuit. Another good sign for these Louisiana homeowners is the fact that a group of homeowners in South Carolina back in September won a $20 million class action lawsuit versus D.R. Horton. Live in studio, I'm Jeff Horchak, News 15.